More than 3.5 million middle and high school students used e-cigarettes in 2018. And as your children head back to school, Children's Hospital is taking time to warn families about the dangers of vaping. Dr. Barbara Calkins of Westbrook Pediatrics joins us now to talk about how children are using these toxic chemicals and how you can keep your teens safe. Thanks so much for coming in.
Sure.
So when you hear the number 3.5 million, that is just staggering, and the numbers just keep going up.
Right. So vaping is very popular. We know from 2018 about 1 in 5 high school students are using e-cigarette devices on a regular basis. So it's about 20% of high school students, increased at least 75% over the past year.
That is scary. You have one in your hand. We've
Yes.
shown pictures over and over. They're easy to kind of lose track of, right? Because some look like USB port. This one looks like a USB port.
Exactly.
They're hiding them everywhere.
Right.
Why are they so dangerous?
So the juices that are in the e-cigarette devices, first of all, are not regulated by the FDA. So it's sort of a guess what's even in them. But what we do know is that most of the vape juices have high levels of nicotine in them. For example, in this vape device, which is a Juul, this Juul pod is equal to 20 cigarettes worth of nicotine. We also know that the chemicals propylene glycol and glycerin are in the vape juices, and we know that those, even just those chemicals, are highly toxic to the lungs. But more importantly, once this juice is produced into an aerosol, we know that the aerosol contains cancer-causing chemicals. The aerosol has nicotine, and it also has other compounds that we know that's causing chronic lung damage and potentially cancers long-term. So we know that this is an unsafe, very dangerous thing for children and adults to be using.
And these companies have been called out by teens, families, lawmakers, locally and nationally, because they do have flavors like cotton candy and pineapple. But what do parents need to keep in mind as their kids head back to school, as they're around influences that you might not want them to be around?
Right. I think parents just need to keep in mind that they might not even know that their kids are using these devices because they don't produce a lot of smoke or vapor. You won't really see it. It's easy to hide. Kids can do this in the classroom. They can use it in the bathroom, which is very common in a school setting. And so I think parents need to just be aware that because this is such a common thing that kids are doing, they need to ask their children what they're seeing in the school setting. Are their friends doing this? Have they tried it? And then just be prepared to have a good, candid conversation with them that this is not a safe alternative to smoking, and it's not safe for them to do in general, especially because the nicotine content is so high. It's highly addictive, and it does very much affect an adolescent's brain as it continues to grow and change in their teenage years. Long term, it's going to have big consequences for them.
A lot of impacts down the road. Thank you so much for coming in, Dr. Calkins.